All right, 5:30 on the dot. This is a line yoga. Things feel a little bit different today because it's the first Wednesday that it's been really like hot in Rochester. So notice that energy shift in your body. It might be better, worse, indifferent. Tonight's class isn't going to be super flowy. It's coming into a holiday weekend, so I figured I'd just mix things up. It should hopefully still feel good in your body. So to get started, and if you have other people in your house that are going to make fun of you for doing this, do it anyway. Have them join you. Just start to walk around. So walk around your yoga mat, if that's like your comfort zone. And then you can start to make it like a little bit bigger. Like just feeling your feet on the ground as you walk around your room. Feel your feet on the ground. What parts of the feet touch the ground? Toes, heels, balls of the feet. Is there a texture where ground and skin connect? Maybe you twirl a little bit, make the walking bigger. Maybe you feel like walking really linearly, and that's okay too. Just notice how your body wants to move on this Wednesday night. Maybe you stomp a little bit. It can be like a quick pace, it can be a slow pace. Feel the temperature of the air on your skin. Notice if you're laughing at yourself or if you're holding your face really seriously. Neither right or wrong, just noticing. Keep walking, keep breathing. And over the next couple of breaths with no sense of urgency, start to make your way closer to your yoga mat. And stand anywhere on your yoga mat that feels right for you. Maybe it's facing the short edge traditionally, maybe it's facing the side. You just need to hear me tonight. You don't necessarily need to see me. Maybe you're looking out a window. What works for you? Notice where your body wants to stand on your yoga mat. Place your feet parallel to one another, so it might be big toes touching. That might be a little more challenging. Maybe you widen your feet slightly wider than hips distance apart. Stand steady and firm. Noticing the direction you chose. And from here, we're going to take some half sun salutations. Remember, everything we do should be pain-free even as we start to pick up the pace. So stretch the arms up overhead, torso fills with breath. Exhale and fold into yourself over the legs. Knees can stay bent the whole time, especially if you have low back or joint sensitivities. Halfway lift. I know a lot of times in class we cue like to make this nice L shape. Some of you I know are a little more advanced practitioners. You might want to keep your belly a little bit closer to your legs and just lengthen the thoracic spine, the upper back. Fold into yourself. Sweep the arms up overhead. Ground the feet. As soon as you come up to standing, fold back down. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold. Root through the feet, rise up to standing, stretch arms up. Side body's long, fold yourself back down. Lengthen on an in-breath. Fold on the out-breath. Stretch the arms out and up, come to standing. And then keep moving through this with breath as slowly or as quickly as suits you tonight. Stopping to pause where you need to. Maybe it's one breath, one movement. Feeling your feet connected to the ground as you go. Three more times. We'll meet up in standing. So if you're moving faster than I am, you can just pause there. Hands at heart center, or maybe one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. If you're moving more slowly, take your time to join us. Feet wider than the hips. Pep talk pose. So pretend like you have a rubber band on your sit bones and your heels. Squeeze the hamstrings down. Torso comes in line with the yoga mat. Forearms up on the thighs. Squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Find the length from tailbone to crown of the head. Collarbones are a smiley shape, not a frown. So they're lifting up, armpits lift up. Stay right here. If you need more of a challenge through your breath, stretch the arms straight forward. Tailbone and crown of the head lengthening away from one another. Keep widening the inner thighs side to side. Be with your breath. Press into the feet. Use your core to come up to standing. Good. You're going to step back to a short lunge. Let's do left foot forward, right foot back. I'm going to pad my right knee with a blanket. Hands to the hips. Ooh, that was a Rochester accent for sure. And then almost like you're doing cat-cow, take some pelvic tilt. So feel the pelvic bowl move forward and then round it back. A couple of times. Kind of interesting. Maybe it's interesting to me, maybe you don't care. Probably if you're here in my class, it's interesting to you. And then notice too, this left hip might want to hike up. See if you can smooth it down in line with the right. Okay, the next time you tip the pelvis backwards, so posterior pelvic tilt, keep it there. Especially my women in the room, this might be hard to do. And then squeeze the glutes. Interlace the hands, stretch the arms forward, round through the spine like you're doing cat pose. Navel back. Notice with your hands too, if the thumbs want to go way far forward of the pinky fingers, so you can get the hands pretty in line with one another. Looking for some stretch on that right thigh. And then go ahead, release that side down. From here, you're gonna walk your left leg Out to the left, keep the left knee bent. Left hip, left knee, left toes, probably off your yoga mat. It's like a short warrior two, like a bent knee on the right side warrior two. Lean into the left leg a little bit. Shift your weight to the left. Come back to center. So we're looking for some inner thigh stretch. Pain-free range of motion. And then from here, you're going to internally rotate the left thigh. So left hip, left knee, left toes all point towards the way you're facing. Hands come down to the yoga mat. It's like a kind of like gate pose. And then tip the pelvis forward and back a few times. A little bit more like cat-cow. Right hip still stacked over the right knee. Your upper body, like upper back, might not be able to move that much. Feel your breath. And then you're going to bring your left knee in to meet the right. Hands and knees. Extend your right arm out to the right. You're going to thread it underneath your left armpit. Thread the needle. If you can smoosh your right shoulder down to the yoga mat, go for it. Options. Left arm can extend straight with a straight left elbow. Left arm is long, or bend the left elbow. Come onto your left finger pads and squeeze elbow into shoulder. You're breathing. And then try to smush the right shoulder down, pull it back towards your belly button. You can always slide a block under your right ear. Gently unravel yourself, come to kneeling. This is going to be fun. Try to do hands-free if you can. Step your left foot up. Step your right foot up. Come to standing. Left knee down, right knee down. Left foot down, right foot down. Come to standing. A couple of times. Notice where you weeble wobble, where you feel steady. And then eventually we'll end with the right foot back, left foot forward. Readjust your, no, I lied. Right foot forward, left knee back. A little extra bonus work for you. Hands on your hips, or maybe one hand on your belly, one hand on your low back. Couple of pelvic tilts. Notice if you have a tendency too to move beyond that pain-free range of motion. If it gets like particularly crunchy in any part of the low back, maybe you're overdoing it. Especially in the posterior pelvic tilt, where the pelvis is tipping backwards, it helps me if I engage my core. Next time you find that posterior pelvic tilt, stay there, squeeze the navel back towards the spine, interlace hands the weird way, stretch the arms forward, curl in. Press firmly into your right foot, pressing pinkies and thumbs equally away from you, so adjust as needed. Breathe. Looking for that stretch on the left thigh, squeeze the buns. You're breathing. Gently come back to neutral. You're gonna heel toe your right foot out to the right, right hip and right knee in line with one another. Start to lean into that right leg a couple of times, trying to find a little inner thigh sensation, softening. It might help to tone the outer right thigh, so like right glute, right IT band. God, this feels fantastic, doesn't it? And then from here, heel toe the right foot out until the right leg can go straight, almost like you're doing gate pose, right hip to right ankle, one long line, right knee and right toes pointing in the same direction. Hands come down to the yoga mat, nice long spine, couple of pelvic tilts here. Maybe it turns into like a bigger cat-cow, full spinal movement. It's whatever works for you. Left hip over the left knee. I promise this is going somewhere. Go ahead, bring the right knee in to meet the left. So you're on hands and knees. Left arm extends out to the left, and then slide it underneath your right arm. Right arm can be extended straight out in front of you, or bend the right elbow up towards the sky. Come on to your right finger pads. Squeeze right elbow into your right shoulder blade. Notice if the left hip really wants to drop down. See if you can find a little bit of lift in it. Gaze goes where it's comfortable. Keep a little tone in the core so the low back stays long. Breathe and hold. And then gently come back up to kneeling. Right foot plants. Left foot meets it in standing. Right knee down. Left knee down and kneeling. Right foot plants. Left foot plants. Right knee down. Left knee down. Notice how much you have to use your arms or not use your arms. Standing, kneeling, standing. Notice how much the glute muscles get involved or don't. And then you're gonna make your way back to a downward facing dog. So if you like, you can come through plank pose. Shoulders stacked over the wrists, heels over the balls of the feet. You can then lift your hips up, squeeze the inner thighs back to take some weight out of the hands. And remember, you can always sub this out for child's pose, which I'll show you. Big toes come together, knees narrow or wide. Go ahead, come down to your knees. This time we're gonna lower down to our belly. We're gonna go knees, chin, and chest pose. So elbows are gonna hug the rib cage, shift the weight forward, squeeze shoulder blades onto your back, knees, chin, and chest lower, pause at the bottom, tone the belly, and then slide forward. You're in cobra pose. Try to get those pinky toenails down to the yoga mat. Firm the inner thighs. Feel the place where your tailbone and your sacrum meet. Tone down or press down into the ground. Back of the skull in line with back of the shoulders. Go ahead, lower down. Right forearm comes across the top of your yoga mat. Kick your left heel to your left glute. Hard version, you reach back with your left hand, nothing connects. Maybe you grab a pant leg, no problem. Harder, left hand hooks the left ankle. Hardest, left hand to the big toe side of the left foot. But you can see I picked up some leaves on my walk this afternoon. Bring the palm of your hand to swivel over the left toes. Half frog pose. Left heel squeezes to the outside of the left glute, wherever you are. You're looking for some stretch on the left quad. If you're experiencing any knee pain, check to see if maybe the left leg kind of started to wander out to the left side of the yoga mat. Keep the thighs pretty parallel. Gently release. Sphinx pose. Tailbone, sacrum press down. Collarbone, smile open. Chest back, armpits back. Tone the hamstrings on the backs of the thighs. And then start to balance on your left forearm. Right heel kicks towards right glute. Right arm stretches back. Maybe it hovers. Maybe it grabs the outside. If you're doing this version where the right hand comes to the big toe side of the right foot and then swivels over the top, if that bothers your shoulder, you can always try to hook like in your right elbow crook. So lots of options, and then hugging both thighs in towards your midline. And just notice the quality of your back muscles. Do they feel a little uneven, a little lazy, rigid? Be in your breath. And then gently lower the right foot down. Hands come by your low ribs, downward facing dog. Let's do that little sequence again. So, glide forward to plank pose. Knees come down to the yoga mat. Lower knees, chin and chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades together like you're squeezing a pencil, and then slide forward, depending on how sticky your sticky mat is. Hands by your low ribs. And then go ahead and lower down. Let's do left forearm across the top of your yoga mat. Right heel to right glute your way. Notice where your gaze goes, how comfortable your neck is or uncomfortable. Where you put your body in space. Release. Right forearm across the top. Let's do Sphinx pose in the middle. Collarbones back, armpits back. Neck is long. Belly toned, so navel moving up and back towards the ceiling, so there's no excess tension in your low back. Almost feels like you're pushing your pubic bone maybe down into the yoga mat. So navel up and back towards the spine. And then you can lower down if you like, or stay up high. Right forearm across the top of your yoga mat. Left hand to the big toe side of the left foot. Swivel forearm You have to lift elbow up, swivel hand around to the front of the room. Hug inner thighs in towards one another. You're breathing. And relax. And then let's do a gecko cobra. So stretch the arms out long in front of you like you're Superwoman or Superman. And then bend the elbows up towards the sky. Finger pads on the ground, palms lifted. Hands somewhere between your ribs and your head. Press the tailbone, sacrum area down. Navel back, lift up. Squeeze your shoulder blades in towards one another. Armpits back, chest back. Toes sliding back behind you. And then go ahead, lower down. Downward facing dog, however you want to get there. Pause and breathe here. Look forward, step your left foot forward. We're gonna lift the torso up. Swivel the right heel down, so it's like triangle legs. Root down from your right sit bone to your right heel. I'm gonna grab a block. Tailbone sacrum area moves back. Heart stretches forward, forward, forward over that left leg till it can't go anymore. And then your left hand comes down to block or shin or yoga mat. Right arm is going to extend straight out in front of your right shoulder, almost like it's on a table. Get longer in your left side body. And then a couple of times, the right arm's on a table, so it can't lift up or down. You're going to squeeze the right shoulder blade back, so the arm retracts back, and then let the right shoulder blade go so the right arm can stretch forward. And do that a couple of times. I'm going to shorten my stance because I don't like the one I picked. So remember, it's your yoga class, so you can always adjust. So protracting and retracting that right arm. And the next time you retract it, hold it there and sweep the right arm up overhead. Try to get longer in the left side of your body. And then slowly, mindfully, wide-legged forward fold. So pivot towards your right. Let's do downward facing dog. Arms, so like a wide-legged down dog. Hips pretty much over the heels, or in line with the heels. So adjust if you need to. Press down and forward with the hands. If you have a tendency to lock out your knees, soften them a little bit. Squeeze the outer shins in, widen the inner thighs. Walk your hands in. Lift yourself up. Wide-legged stance. Externally rotate the right thigh, right toes point to the right. So your right heel is either in line with your left heel or your right arch. Tone the underside of your right thigh a little bit as you start to lean forward. Triangle pose. Left arm stretches forward, right out in front, So like left hand is right in line with the left shoulder, and then a couple of times like your left arm is on a table, retract and protract your left shoulder blade. See how much range of motion is there? I'm actually getting like a little bit of kind of spasmy action. Probably because I haven't retracted my shoulder blades all day. Next time you retract, hold it there. Stretch the left arm over your ear. Feel the tailbone sacrum area move back behind you. Chest rolling open, left arm super straight and strong. Mindfully start to walk your way back to wide-legged forward fold. This time, left hand under your face, right hand to the right hip. Start to twist open towards the right. Maybe your right hand wants to stay at your low back at first to check that you can get that left hip up as high as your right. Think about moving chest back, armpit back. Extend the right arm up. Square the hips. Lean back. And then gently bring the right hand down underneath the face. Hug the shins in towards one another, widen the inner thighs. So all your leg muscles are working. Left hand comes to the low back. Real small, winding open. Stay here. Right hip lifts high. Or you start to lift the left arm up. Chin back. Armpits back, length from tailbone to crown of the head. And then go ahead, bring the left hand down. Bend the knees, lift your torso up. Jump the feet together. Next pose, half moon. We're not going to get fancy with it. You're simply going to step the right foot out to the right. Look over the right foot. Right hip, right knee, right toes all point in the same direction. Left arm stacks over the right. Armpits back, chest back. Press it down through the outer right shin. And then come back to standing. Or maybe you fall out of it like your yoga instructor. All right, so again, facing one direction. Your left foot's going to turn out to the opposite direction. And that rotation starts at the hip, not at the foot or the ankle. So take a peek down, left hip, left knee, left toe, all in line with one another. And then just stack your right hip over the left. Real easy. If you fall out of it, don't worry about it. Breathe. Karate chop that right shin up towards the sky. And make your way back to standing. Go ahead, stretch the arms up overhead. Bit long through the torso. And then go ahead, hands come to heart center. Feel your body on 2 feet. Okay, feet wider than hips distance apart. We're gonna come to pyramid pose. Right foot forward, left foot back. So swivel, right hip, right knee, right toes forward. Whichever direction. See, when I say it doesn't matter which way you face on your yoga mat. And then I'm gonna do left heel down today. I don't always do that. Square the hips, so left inner thigh moves towards your right sit bone. Hands on your hips, hinge forward. If you have a tendency to lock out your right knee, soften it. When you can't hinge anymore, Go ahead, let your hands come down to the yoga mat. Root your sit bones down towards your left heel. If you want to bend the right knee a little bit, you're welcome to do that, as long as you keep pressing through the right foot. Finding some squareness in the hips, even though the left leg is slightly off to the left. Stay low. Walk the hands around. Pyramid on the left side. So swivel, pivot on your yoga mat. We'll come into it from the reverse this time. So we'll start low and move high. Squeeze right inner thigh towards your left sit bone. Fold into yourself. Get long in your waists on left and right side. Put a little extra weight on the right leg. See if it can take some. Hands to the hips, halfway lift. Collarbones back, armpits back. Long from tailbone to crown of the head. Make your way up to standing. Sweep the arms up. Fold over the legs, step back, downward facing dog. If you want a flow from high to low, you can do that. I'm not going to cue it tonight, but I'll take 5 breaths here, so if you have to do that, go for it. Right leg lifts up behind you. When you're ready, right foot forward. It's going to look a lot like that pose we just did. So pyramid pose. If the left heel comes up a little bit, don't worry about it. If this was plenty of effort for you, stay here. Keep squeezing left and right sit bones in towards one another. Otherwise, you can revolve your pyramid pose. So left hand can come to a block, an ankle on the left leg. Bring your right hand to your sacrum. Square the hips. Rotate to the right. Maybe your right arm lifts up. I'll give myself a little more space left and right. Super long wingspan. So from left hand to right, you're getting longer. Pull collarbones back, armpits back. Go ahead, swivel around to the opposite side, fold, rotate. Have your feet at least hips distance apart. Lift the torso up, start with hands at the hips. Hug the left hip back, sit bones squeeze in towards one another. Fold over that left leg, right hand can come inside or outside that left ankle. Start to twist, squeeze right and left sit bones in towards one another. Get long through your spine, and then left arm lifts up. Try to put a little weight in the right leg, as long as you're not tugging on that Achilles tendon. Try to get some openness across the upper back. And then gently fold over that front leg. Right foot comes in to meet the left. Walk the feet as wide as the yoga mat. Doesn't matter which way you're facing. Pep talk pose or Malasana yogi squat. Feel the choice you made. Feel how it feels on your body. And then come to sit down. However it works for you. All right, let's see, how are we on time? Great, plenty of time. from seated, go ahead and extend left and right legs out so you're in a wide-legged straddle. I'm going to use a block here tonight. You can absolutely skip it. Walk your hands forward. Keep a long spine at first. Flex the feet. And then walk your hands forward enough so that you're still in control of the stretch. You're not like at your limit. And let your head come to rest on something. So some of you might be able to touch your head to the ground. If you don't have a block, you can bend your elbows, give your chin a little support. Or head to a block. Flex the feet, press through the big toe mounds. Feel the inner thighs soften, and then the outer thighs can tone a little bit if that supports you here. Feel your body in the pose and how the pose feels on your body. Keep trying to find some length through the upper back. Go ahead, lift yourself up. If you don't have a block, you can kind of do this with your hands. But I'll show you, this will kind of get into that QL area before we do our last big pose. You're not going to roll over your spine, so you're going to stay on one side of your back. You can lean the block, or you can even use a book here, up with the top of the pelvis, and then maybe go up an inch or so. And you're just going to rock and roll around from your side to your back. Kind of awkward and uncomfortable. Press yourself up. Other side. So find the edge of the block can line up with right above the rim of your pelvis, and then lean a little weight into the block. Just add it to the list of goofy things we did tonight. I know you're all laughing at home. I'm used to telling corny jokes to a group. Couple more moments here. Notice like my left and right side, I feel it very differently. You might be having a similar experience. Maybe you feel pretty even. All right, and then get rid of the block. Make your way onto your belly. So we're gonna do that half frog pose again. If you were not able to clasp the ankle, do it one-sided. We're going to do this twice. Big shoulder opener. So do one side if you're doing one side. If you want to do both sides, kick both heels towards the glutes. Both hands come to the insides of the feet, so the big toe sides. And then elbows lift up and palms spin around the toes. Shoulders lift up as much as they can. So awkward, hurts so good. Knees can stay down. And release. Big shoulder opener. Do the other side. If you're one-sided. Or try it again. You can try squeezing the knees in a little bit closer to start maybe, just for a little variety. Both hands come to the big toe ball of the foot, and then you're going to lift the elbows up, lift the shoulders up, spin, hands across the tops of the toes. Try to root the knees down and back. I'm slipping. Keep breathing. You can do what I'm doing, like grab the feet if you need a little something to hold on to. Find lift in the chest and relax. Tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. All right, so where is all this wackiness going? I'm gonna do Bridget's cross. So let's do a little core first. So you're gonna tap your left knee to your right tricep. Hold it, 2 breaths. And then left leg stretches back, 3-legged dog, left foot down. Firm in the arms, right leg lifts up. Tap it to your left tricep. 2 breaths. Stretch it back. My breaths are short tonight. They get short when it gets hot out. All right. So, just like we did a moment ago, left knee is going to come towards the left tricep. This time you're going to shoot the left leg out straight. Left foot on the floor. So pinky side of the left foot on the floor. And then you're going to start to sink your hips down. Flex the feet, trying to get 90-degree angle between left and right legs. Come down to Sphinx arms. Pause. Take note of your body. If it feels like this is already a lot of stretch happening, this might be enough. Keep pressing both feet away from one another. Like pretend you had to stand on one of those feet. If you like, you can come to a gecko cobra arm with the left arm. So left finger pads down, left elbow up, and you can start to look towards your left. And then go ahead. Hands come back down. Sneak that left foot back in to meet the right. Down dog. Heels stretch back, hands press forward, right leg up behind you. Right knee starts to move towards the left tricep, but then instead it kicks straight out between your left foot and your left hand to start to lower down onto your outer left thigh. Let the left leg come to the border of the inner border of the left foot. Come to Sphinx arms. Pause. So, position the legs so you have about a 90-degree angle between them. Might be a lot happening in the right IT band. Get that same feeling of when we did our revolved triangle or our revolved pyramid of like, I have to get a lot of length in my spine. Keep that length. Bend the right elbow up towards the ceiling, right fingertips out to the right on, probably off your yoga mat. And then rotate to the right any amount. Keep pressing, especially if you're that left foot. Squeeze right elbow in towards the right shoulder blade. Unravel yourself. Tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. Bend the knees. Let the sit bones lift up. Just like you started class, getting long from tailbone to crown of the head. Walk your hands in to meet your feet. I'm going to give an option. If you have a wall handy, you're going to walk to the wall. If you don't, you're going to take L pose on your back, which is just laying down flat on your back, straight legs, feet up towards the sky. If you have a wall, sorry to turn my back to, you're going to come in close to the wall, almost like you're doing a chaturanga. Your elbows are down by your hip bones. Plant your hands on the wall, and then you're going to walk yourself back to an L pose at the wall or a down dog at the wall. Feel the inner thighs swivel back behind you, press forward into the hands. You're looking for maximum length from tailbone to the crown of the head without any crunching. Feel your feet firmly on the ground, looking for opening through that thoracic spine. Navel back towards the spinal column like we did before, so you're not overstretching the low back. You can play with two if you hug your feet in towards one another or kind of pull them apart. Look forward, look down, look forward, look down, and then find neutral in the neck, and slow and controlled, walk yourself back up to standing. Good. All right, come down onto your back. If you were in L pose on your back, let your feet come down. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Figure 4 on your back. You can take your right hand, kind of zhuzh the right thigh muscles away from you. If this is enough for you, stay here. If you need a little bit more, left shin parallel with the yoga mat, and you can take your hands around the front of the left knee and lean back. Keep pressing the right thigh forward as you hug the left leg in close. Flexing right foot, right pinky toe draws towards the knee. And left foot comes down. Right foot comes down. Square off the hips. Left ankle crosses over the right thigh. Hug right knee in towards the chest. Push left thigh forward. Our right foot can stay down here too. Sometimes we can explore taking the less intense options of a yoga pose. Maybe it lets you flex the left foot a little bit more and widen the left thigh forward. Feeling your breath here. Knowing that sometimes practicing the smaller versions of poses lets us make our way up to the more vigorous. Widening left and right thighs away from one another. And then right foot will come down, left foot will come down. Take a moment, let the knees just knock in towards one another. Hands somewhere on your body. Feel breath moving through your body. If this constructive rest pose feels like a good rest pose for you tonight, you can stay there. Otherwise, you can start to extend your legs straight. Arms down by your sides for Shavasana. Time to rest. Completely let go of anything you did or didn't do. Notice where you're still tense in your body. Can you soften those areas? Mind wanders, bring it back to your body. Back to the four corners of your yoga mat. Let yourself be at rest. Whole body at rest. And then start to deepen your breath. Be aware of how you feel physically, emotionally, mentally right now. Good, better, indifferent, worse. All gets to be here. Gently bend your knees and start to roll to one side. Thank your body for trying things on a little bit differently today. And then gently press yourself up to a seat. Thank you all for playing with me this evening. I hope you have a fantastic long weekend. If you have any questions, please stay on. Namaste.